Innovatology. Dream it, plan it, do it. So today we have an extraordinary opportunity podcast where we have our first guest ever, Jean-Luc. He's an ex-colleague of mine from AB InBev. He's going to tell us a bit about his new found journey, which we're very excited about to learn more. But can you tell us a bit more about your journey?
So I studied international entrepreneurship as part of the business administration studies. And in my last year, I was looking for an internship abroad, which I found through an agency called Randstad. I called them up and asked for an open vacancy if I could do it as an internship. And that was the internship at ABI in Prague. And then I worked 4 years in London, great experience, and I concluded it with a year to a year and a half in Belgium, leading 2 customer experience teams, after which my role got made redundant. So that's the moment where I actually started thinking about what's next. What step can I take to go more towards my dream? And I had always said that I wanted to start my own business, have something for myself. I studied international entrepreneurship. I was always interested in that, but I would never open the next door pizza store, let's say, because I wanted then, if I start something, to be something I believe in. I always used to say, if I found the gap in the market, I'm going to leave everything I do at ABI and start, but I never found it. So at the moment when I left, I also didn't have it, but I knew that one day I wanted to do something, and I had a couple of ideas in my mind, which is what I'm starting with now is one of them. And it got accelerated in November when I really started putting things on paper. And I was actually lucky to get a message from my previous lecturer, banking and finance, who is now the head of international business management. He asked if I would be willing to speak to the students. So I am teaching digital strategy and innovation to international business students. And yeah, I'm loving it. I do it next to my activities.
I have a question. How does it work in the synergy? Because like your entrepreneurship is in fashion, but then you teach, let's say, about digital innovation, etc.
There's actually a big synergy, and I feel like now by doing this that I'm kind of like practicing what I preach, because what I teach is digital strategy and innovation. So in the course that I'm giving, we ask the students to work on a business case where they work on a post-mortem case, working on companies that actually became bankrupt or got outplayed by the competition by not digitizing quickly enough, by not innovating enough, and by not reinventing themselves. So what I'm doing right now, maybe you've seen it, I'm focusing on the online aspect. I'm doing a lot of content marketing. When we launch, we're only going to be launching through a web shop. So I'm really using the online and digital strategy to do that. But next to that, you have the whole business component as well. It's about the value proposition design. So designing my own value proposition that is strong for the customer. Starting with a why, if you read the book from Simon Sinek, all those things, and really setting the business up for success and following the current trends. So I feel like now when I'm going to be teaching it, I'm going to be thinking much more about my own business.
They're saying that you are learning the most if you're teaching. So this is very great. And this is also for you, that you should innovate, because then if you don't innovate, you will bankrupt. So
Absolutely. I can still go bankrupt, but at least
at least you try.
Exactly.
And I think that's already very memorable, especially in the European context, where we don't always celebrate already just trying. And what I think want to inspire everyone to do is just take the most out of every opportunity that you get. And I think with the lecturing, with your startup now, you're going for it. And together, we're big supporters of you.
You guys are
on your journey.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I've seen it and I feel it. I'm actually also really honored to be the first guest. But you guys are massive entrepreneurs as well. Like, look at this. So yeah,
Marie for sure. I'm more of the entrepreneur. I still see myself more of like the back end person, and Marie is like our front end person.
I'm the visionary, the impulsive one. Like I can go like this, but also like this. And then there is Cedric, who is consistent.
you complement each other on that.
Yes,
exactly.
Nice.
Yeah, more about your own business. Like, what inspired you to start it?
I think tying it to what I said, like the moment I'm going to find a gap in the market, I really loved when I started realizing that this is something that came out of my own personal experience. So I was born in Rwanda, and I went back the first time in 2018. And on my last day, my aunt gave me 2 shirts. They weren't the same like this. They were in full African print, but they were tailored to my sizes. So I called her up because she didn't take my sizes. I called her up and I thanked her, and I asked her, like, how did you know my sizes? And she said, but we spent time together. I looked at you, I saw you. I really couldn't believe it. I was like, are you joking?
Measure you
And
like in your sleep?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. I really couldn't believe it. But I also fell in love like with the feel of it, how comfortable it was.
Can I?
So I said to myself, sure, go ahead. Yeah. Of course, the other one was different. This one is maybe a bit more. Yeah, it's more of a full fabric, and I was of the mindset that I wanted to go back and like buy more of them because I feel comfortable with them. Because the ones she gave me were of like full African print. Maybe you've seen those already with full of color. Yeah, a red one and a blue one. It's not a shirt. These shirts, they aren't shirts you can wear in every kind of settings. And I always say the same to people because there's the stigma that all Africans would wear it. We too have preferences, and some people dare to express it more than others. These aren't shirts that all Africans wear as well. But I knew I wanted the type of shirts that I can wear wherever I go. So I wanted something that is a bit more Western, European, like that doesn't scream in your colors in your face, but still with some African subtle touches. Like the one you see here, you can see you have some touches inside.
The sophisticated details.
Yeah.
The details, like unique things. So when I went back, I had to wait for a long time because of the COVID-19. So I came back January 2019. A year later, I hadn't gone back, and then the lockdown started. They had a quite harsh lockdown. Yeah, so I had to wait quite a long time. But then in September 2022, I was able to go back. And I came back with a lot of shirts, I think 21. Yeah.
You went to an empty suitcase and you came back with a full one.
Yes, absolutely. And I started wearing these type of shirts because then I actually had them, and that's when I really started getting the feedback, see what people think about them, and I started speaking to people about my ideas, to my brothers, my mom, my aunts, other people, and it's then when I decided to become self-employed that I really thought, like, how can I work it out? And yeah, that's the thing. So the clothes I'm gonna be bringing out are like this. For me, the whole idea is I love their craftsmanship, their art. Like, I can go there and ask a shirt to be made in this type of way, the way I see it. I love the African design with the color that doesn't go over. And they can do it. They have this art to do it. It's also like kind of like a habit, I think, in Africa to go to a tailor and ask a certain piece of cloth to be made, either by bringing a fabric or not. It's not something we really do here, right? What we do here is like when you buy something, it's too big, it's too small, you ask them to correct it.
I have to say that I know only one person who is tailoring clothes, and it's actually my brother.
Yes.
And it's like also like what you are like showing here, and like also like what the self-entrepreneurship, it's your identity that you actually put in print, and like you are actually giving to people this exact identity, which I think we don't have. In majority, 99% of Europeans, like they go to Primark or somewhere, and it's so pity because the clothes, etc., it's an identity itself. And
right? It's the first thing they see. You want to make a first impression. It's part of your being. And I love what you say about the identity, the individuality. It's like, we choose clothes, but really we choose clothes that you can choose from in the shop.
Yeah.
And that's a bit what I want to do. Obviously, I'll have a collection. But I think I'm trying from the launch on to give the option for people to tailor them. My dream is to be able to personalize them. So the first thing I want to do is to really recognize that craft and the art, so the people there can actually dress more people outside of Africa as well, but also to make it accessible here. Because by wearing them, I met people who asked me where I got them from and how they can get them, and that's when I started seeing that there must be a certain interest that I still needed to validate and still need to validate even more. So I want to make it accessible here. I want to provide those craftsmen with consistent work and fair pay. So we don't have to think like the clothes we bought in a certain retail store, how did they make it, did we pay a fair price for it? I want to make sure we pay the correct price for it. And then what I really believe is that these type of clothes are wearable by everyone. I really believe that they are wearable by people until 60 or over, and also from any type of from any ethnicity.
I love the subtle thing here, for example.
Right.
Like it looks chic, but like casual at the same time, and then it has your personal brand worked into it as well. So I really think that's super nice.
I was also like thinking that because we were recently like in many tech conferences, like Viva conference in Paris or in Las Vegas, and actually fashion had its own innovations there. Like there were brands, startups in fashion, etc. And you know what I have in mind? There was one innovation, and it was actually hologram, where actually people were standing in front of the screen, and they could see in the hologram how it suits them.
Yeah.
And it would be also maybe something really interesting what you said about the customization, that actually like what your aunt has like as the measuring eyes, etc. It's really incredible, but I think to find somebody with this kind of eyes, it's really difficult. But if you have like actually the hologram which can measure and which can like really clothe the person, and it can also be like marketing, right? Like that the person like can see it on themselves immediately, and they're like, yeah, I want that.
It's great that you mentioned that, and you give me a great idea. Obviously, it's not something easy to build, and you need great IT and tech guys for that. But one of my challenges right now is that, and I have it as well, is that many customers, they are hesitant to buy something until they wear it, until they see how they look with it.
Yeah, I would have the same, because like I love how it fits you, but I'm not sure if it would fit me. But I'm still intrigued by it.
You can try it. You can try it later. But so that's the challenge, because I'm starting a web shop only, and there are many shops that are web shop only, right? But still, there are some customers you just can't capture because they would love to try it. So I'm already thinking like, but with the start, am I gonna have a live launch event? If yes, then where? Because that was the question people were asking me. Are you gonna start a store? My answer was no, because I wouldn't know where to put it, because we are targeting Europe and even Belgium, because that's I think that's where the first most customers will be. Do I put it in the city where I live, where my headquarters are, let's say, in Ghent, or in Brussels, where you have the biggest community and more people and so on, and the fashion diversity is even bigger. So to me, that's one thing. And speaking about that innovation, my dream would be, so I already said that with the launch I would love to have like somehow where they can put the measuring in, we can make something tailored. It's going to be an option. But my dream is to have like a tool on the website where people can put in the measurements, have it tailored, but also personalize it, make something uniquely for them, because we focus on individuality. It's one of our values, innovation and individuality. Like, let's say, look at Nike, what you can do with the shoes, something like that. And then on top of that, one of my dreams that I came up when I was really wandering off in thoughts was to have like a box or something that or like a tool that could look at you through the camera and could perfectly say your measurements. Because right now, people will be able to put in measurements, but of course they need to know how to measure them. They need to have a second person. So that kind of
double check
hologram could be tied to that. If they could, if the AI tool could measure them, but also put the clothes on them for them to be convinced, like, it looks good on me.
Can crash the barriers.
Absolutely.
Like, put forward everything.
I love the idea that you go web or like e-commerce first, because indeed, I mean, I think putting in the physical shop always brings its challenges. People have to come, then the people that pass that street need to be interested. And then you also have like the physical cost of the building, the utilities. I think starting e-commerce first, test your idea, launch fast, and get more feedback.
Exactly, and the data that doesn't lie. I think online, even on social media, you have all these tools that tell you where your customers are. I'm amazed to see like how Instagram immediately shows where most of my followers are, which city, which country, what age group, because I have this niche in my head, but maybe it's gonna turn out completely different.
One of the questions that I also had, or that we also had, like you started corporate,
Yes.
and then you made the decision for yourself. At some point, you want to start something for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What was the main challenge transitioning from the corporate life to entrepreneurship?
Yeah.
Because Marie has mostly been an entrepreneur. I'm mostly corporate, so we sometimes clash. And I'm curious, like, what for you was the main challenging point in the
Such
transition?
an interesting dynamic, actually. Yeah. the challenging, the biggest change for me was like not having almost anyone or very few people to bounce ideas off, because in corporate you're in such a big company, you have your boss, you have your peers, you have maybe your team, you have your friends in other departments who you have coffees with and so on. But in the beginning, you don't have all those people to bounce ideas off with, and you're starting really on your own.
There is a system, right, in a corporation. What I'm jealous about Cedric, for example, is that he has the system. Like he knows that he wants to like grow up, and like to grow up there is a path to go up. For me, it's like I need to make the system. I need to like think through. If I don't come up with new ideas, I'm here. Like
You have your weekly one-to-ones.
yeah, like there is like actually like no one around me until I make someone there. Like it's really like me in my head, and now Cedric in my head. But it's like he's like, yeah, I have a dream to go up in the corporation, and I'm like, yeah, I'm CEO. I'm CEO of a company where I am myself. I mean,
It's absolutely that. So not having people to bounce off ideas with, and then really having to sell yourself, having to really sell yourself and build credibility out there, because I think I feel like the only moment you really need to sell yourself within corporate that I needed to do it was when I was going up for promotion, going into interviews, which I could still like do mock interviews with my boss or peers and my mentor, and you learn to sell yourself in another way. It's another way, because you're in like in AB and Bev, you know how the interviewing process would be. You know the culture, what they look at.
I'm just working on a course, personal branding course actually, so I'll be launching in May, but this is exactly because I think that it always starts with the website.
Yes.
Like, I don't know why, but it seems to me that like all of the
builds credibility, right?
It's it's where you put everything what you know, like black and white on digital space, and like there are no barriers. Like it can go in Belgium, it can go around the world. Like you will find your like niche there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, based on the transition that you made, is there any advice that you would give your younger self to accelerate towards entrepreneurship, or would you have kept things the same as how it went for you right now?
For my younger self?
Yeah.
I think what I would say then is to be more stubborn.
Be more stubborn.
Be more stubborn and dare to ignore the opinion of others and care less. I think when I was younger, I used to think, and I still have it a little bit, but way less than before. I used to think a lot about what other people thought of me, how they saw me. Somehow it's also, I know where it's coming from. It's coming from the fact that we migrated to Belgium when I was very young. I was 4 years old with a single mom, 2 brothers, and we had to fit in. We had to, you hear like, do everything you can to integrate, don't show weaknesses, don't be different, and so you then think the whole time about how do they do it, how should I do it, should I do the same, what do they think about it, something that built up. And over the years is when I started realizing like I shouldn't be caring that much, I should be more myself. I should, if I think something, just do it and maybe fail or get critics and then twist it, instead of trying to confirm the societal expectation of myself or whatever. Be mindful, of course, but
always
care less and follow your heart. Yeah.
I can resonate with that.
You have the same?
Yeah, I mean, I know where that comes from. You don't want to stand out in the crowd, so you don't want to, and then like you get into different groups of friends and you just want to stay low, but as you grow older, you have that energy where you're just like, okay, who am I?
Yeah.
And then you start exploring that.
And you also like sometimes notice that people appreciate you for that.
Yeah.
And for that thing that in many settings you're trying to suppress, but then when you yourself, you see that some people really appreciate that.
But I also only started realizing that when I really got like 25, 26, that I should value me more and not value the opinion of others more than my own opinion.
He's always telling to me like why the K-pop didn't start to be popular earlier, because now with the K-pop like everybody are into like Asian culture, etc. And he's like, why the K-pop was not there when I was younger?
Should have started it yourself. Nice, true.
And then one message for aspiring entrepreneurs, what would it be?
Follow your heart and take every opportunity, appreciate every opportunity along the way. Because I think sometimes people don't realize like how every opportunity and experience can help in the future, in the build-up, and find your passion. Because it's so hard to do things you don't believe in. It's so hard to try and be an entrepreneur for the sake of being it. That's why I always said like the moment I'm gonna have the gap, I'm gonna leave ABI and do it. I never got there, and it wasn't a problem for me. But that's why I never thought I was going to go in the fashion industry. Never. I didn't study fashion. I didn't study design. Nothing of that. But and it's actually a funny story. Sorry, I'm going to drift off again. I was speaking to an ex-colleague at ABI as well at a reunion during the Hense Feesten. And I was telling him about this idea. He's one of the guys who I bought a shirt last time I went there, who I bought a shirt for. And he was like, okay, interesting, so you're going into fashion. And it struck me, I was like, my first reaction was like, no, because I was just thinking, I'm gonna start a business, I'm gonna make the clothes available, I'm still figuring out, but nothing had told me or made me come to mind that I was going into fashion. And when he said that, the next day I was like, he said something like, I'm actually going into fashion. I should start learning about the business, how everything works, like, when I'm gonna do my financial statements and P&L, it's not gonna be the same as in ABI where you get a beer and a VLC and macro and the different components that I know there are gonna be other factors. Yeah, it's gonna be another process. Like whoa, and it's true, but it didn't scare me off because I was doing this from the idea and the perception of entrepreneurship. Really finding a solution for the customer problem. And seeing a potential and an opportunity, and that's when I realized, like, yeah, it's the whole time in my head, this idea is building up. I need to do something with it. Do you ever have this moment when you like
5 a.m. club,
right? You wake up, you don't want to get out of bed because you say it's too early, but your mind starts working and you can't stop it. You start thinking about this idea, I want to do this. Yeah.
But me during the weekend, like, yeah, 6 a.m., let's do it.
And then sometimes I try to write things on a paper because then they go out of your head. Sometimes it works, but if it keeps spinning, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to start the day. And before you know it, you're tuck. By 9 a.m. you've already done a lot of things. And that's the energy that I was having in it. So really, yeah, follow your heart, find your passion, take every opportunity, appreciate every experience. That's what I would say.
But this is also what we were speaking before actually the podcast, like in the backstage, is that when you have this like that you find the running wheel of your ideas and of your passion as such, then you also start to realize the different kind of things which stimulates your, for example, the cold bath, the saunas, etc. This can actually like make you the ideas get out of your head, because like you know that if you have your like health optimized, if you like have your routine like rightly correctly done, like for example if you go drink and you wake up with a hangover, I don't think that the next day will be a really productive day.
No.
Like and then
is that why you stopped drinking this year?
Yeah, I really feel that this year is my year. I'm on a peak, and I don't want that alcohol will ruin it. So I have actually the resolution that this year I don't drink at all. So
nice resolution, good, yeah.
So far, like
I'm encouraging that.
January is 0 alcohol.
It's been a good dry January.
Yeah.
Okay, well done. So next
start.
month is a Tournée Minérale.
And then that's my dry
March.
Feb.
Okay.
I'm doing dry Feb as well.
Nice. But yeah, I love those kind of things because, you know, it's the same when you go for a run. I always feel like sometimes I'm stuck with it, and when I go for a run, because of the different
Then the creativity
things,
comes up.
yeah, the creativity comes up. Sometimes in the shower, okay, in a cold shower maybe, but it's these kind of things, and I love that you guys do this as well. You were speaking about the breathing exercises, Wim Hof, the cold baths. I just love it because I started intermittent fasting this year. I had tried other diets before, and not always with the idea to lose weight, but really with the idea to optimize how I feel and
how it connects to the brain, because you also then realize how different food is connected to your brain. That
absolutely.
It's really like plays with your moods, with how you feel, and I think that intermittent fasting is really good to actually realize how productive you are when you're fasting, because then you are like having the natural adrenaline and like
100%.
and you also like
I feel like I'm more productive, but I can focus much more. I don't tell my friends they need to do it because I realize it's not for everyone. I have some that do the slow carb diet or whatever. To me, it works because I find like it's a lifestyle. Nice.
Can I segue?
yeah.
Yes.
I don't know why I had it before, but
To open it because it's I don't know your password.
okay, because he doesn't know my password.
Okay.
You started a business.
Yes.
And only afterwards you actually realized that you tumbled into the fashion industry.
Yes.
So your first idea was like, I'm starting my own business, and then you realized, okay, I'm now in a fashion magnate. Let's call it like that.
Not yet, but hopefully in the future.
Do you watch some
Yeah,
series?
so mainly from what I'm doing, and then listening to the customers if there are any things that are absolutely a no-go, or they would like even more, actually really trying to validate my own assumptions on the likability of a clothing item that I have in mind, of a design, but then also trying to look at what's around by going into the streets and so on. So one of the things that I really want to stick to is the commitment to comfort. It's one of our values as well.
like that.
So it's also like African designs are mostly not tucked in, and it's somehow comfortable. And I hear when people wear it and say it as well, but also the fabric, the design. So what I see out there is that there's a certain trend of looser clothes, more baggier clothes. You won't do baggy clothes, but they definitely are somehow a bit looser, and when they're not, they're made to be tailored and to make you feel comfortable.
Casual lifestyle that people can still look really nice
Yes.
at work, but really feel comfortable, and it's serving its purpose.
Yes.
Like that you really can work, you really can live to the fullest. Like
Exactly. You can go to work in the morning and wear the same thing in the evening, not wondering or thinking when will I change clothes and to which clothes. Sometimes you may still do it, but I find since I'm wearing these, I can easily go throughout the day with it. I know I can pack much easier, and like you said, I'm being myself by having my identity.
And like with the African background, do you also see some differences? These kind of patterns, do you see them change, or do they stay the same?
It's interesting that you asked that. So what we have is you have a certain typical patterns which you see a lot in the fabric called African wax. You see it in many fabrics in many countries as well. But then and these are timeless. But then we also have the very traditional patterns. So I start from Rwanda because that's where I make them. But my idea is to make an African brand in the future, to also in the long term make clothes from other countries, because every country has this traditional thing and small little things. So in Rwanda it's like we have something we call imigongo, and I'm showing this because it's made of pearls called amasaro, that they used to put on certain baskets, typical baskets that you would bring to a wedding or give a present in, and they started putting it on clothes as well. So that's a pattern that I don't see is changing there. It's been there for a long time. What I do see that is coming up are new type of patterns in African material. So be it, for example, simple rows or dots. And I use these fabrics to bring those little details onto my clothes and to bring that little subtle touch onto it on places you actually don't expect it.
Interesting and really nice. I really like it.
I'm glad you like it. And it's something that I also wanted to validate. And I did it with the logo, for example, as well. So me too, I don't like screamy things.
I have a question about the sustainability. Like you are bringing the fabric from Africa, or did you think or rethink somehow the sustainability aspect? Because this is also something very well known in the fashion.
Yes, I've thought about it and I've broken my head over it, definitely. Something that I really believe in sustainability and ethics. I think for us, ethics, it starts with working conditions and having the right conditions for the people we work with, the partners we work with, what we pay them and so on. But sustainability, obviously, the things we are making have to be sustainable. It's hard you can't do everything at the same time. And it's hard to say we're only going to use eco-friendly, biodegradable material and not still have the very best quality. It's very hard. And it's something that I also wanted to test with our future customers, what they think about it. And I saw that the value for them, the most important thing is how it looks on them, the quality, and so on. But of course, many also look at the sustainability part. And we want to do everything we can to use eco-friendly material. But I'm gonna be open about this. Not everything will be biodegradable. What we will do, what I'm really hard on, is to make durable clothes and that are recyclable. So with these clothes, like none of them I've had to bring somewhere to make or fix something. So you can wear them for a long time. The fabric is it's handmade and it's really hard. You can check it afterwards again if you want. But it's something that I really check with the tailors. It's one of our values. Excellence in craftsmanship are really making high quality clothes that are durable and people can wear for a long time. And then it's thinking about the sustainability aspect in all other processes that we do in a long term, like the shipment.
Like it will bring you to the different spaces and the whole brand will evolve.
It's going to be a journey.
Yeah.
It's going to be a journey for sure.
If you would do everything at the same time or at the beginning, then you would just also 100%. Burn yourself a bit, I guess, on trying to do everything.
100%. But our tags will be biodegradable. They're made of recyclable cartons, so that's already something. But it's gonna be, it's a journey, trial and error, see where we can improve, how things can be done. What I do want to do, I was thinking that I was missing something. What I would like to do in the future, and it's too early for that, also don't have the financial means for that yet, as I'm focusing on what matters most, is to travel and go look for the fabrics myself. And I got an amazing person there on the ground as well, Ashil, who's helping me with, being my feet on the ground when I need him, and connecting the dots. So constantly in connection with people there.
And do you leverage any digital technologies to support your business building?
We use a lot of WhatsApp. Funnily enough, because I remember at ABI, all the teams used to use WhatsApp as well. Sometimes a bit too much. Some didn't want to go over to Teams. We use a lot of WhatsApp. WhatsApp is big there, and it's actually quick. There are some tools that go much quicker than here. It's funny. Like mobile money is something that isn't known here. People can easily send and make payments through their phone without being using an app or whatever. Some things go so much quicker. So I can pay them easily from my phone. I use an app to send to their phone on the mobile money then when I'm here, or I use my random number. But digital technologies, yes, we speak on the phone, WhatsApp, and the digital technology that I want to use, that I'm using mainly now, is just using the apps that I can use to bring the word out there, get followers, social media. Since 2 weeks ago, we're also on Facebook and LinkedIn, because it's different audiences. Some people are on Facebook, but on Instagram and TikTok. LinkedIn is actually the place where I think I have the biggest followers or connections base, followers base. So using that as well to at least that people know, and then it's up to them if they're going to follow or not. Yeah. And then once the website's online, they can actually see what the whole thing that we have and decide to to buy and become a customer or not, or try things out. So content, social media, and then the other digital tools is for the future. My dream to have that tool on the website where people can really personalize what they want, make something to their identity, something individual for them, and then an AI tool that once you have the financial means, hopefully a great IT guy can create, so that you can use your webcam and it can immediately measure you, but also then give you the image on your screen of how the clothing is going to look on you.
That would be incredible. But in the future, I think very nice, very big dreams. Looking forward to it. But what's then on the plate for the short term with Sangwa Couture? What can we expect next?
I was looking at Q2 to launch, April, May.
All right.
And to have the full launch in May, April, I would love to already be selling like a small limited collection in March. And I'm thinking about ways to already give the opportunity to pre-order in February. I would love to deliver the first garments to my first customers by myself for the experience, for me to capture the first feedback immediately, but also for quality control. I probably will give the customer also the opportunity to then decide whether they go for the full purchase or not. I want to test quickly as well. That's also why I would like to have something already in March and not wait too long, because you become such a perfectionist when you're doing things for yourself. So the MVP is like from the lean startup, the lean startup mentality. Let's test it, see what the customers say, and then we can still tweak.
All right.
So those are the timelines.
Q2, April, May, the first products will come to the market.
Yes.
But February, pre-ordering will be
Watch out
launched.
for the pre-ordering in February, latest March.
All right. Looking forward to that. So if you're looking for something to express your own identity, head out to Sangwa Couture.
Yes, the website already has a landing page. If you want to be notified, to be the first one to be notified about the pre-launch, go to sangwacouture.com. We are on all social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn. Simply type Sangwa Couture and you'll find it. I'm guessing you'll also be putting it in notes so people can easily find it. I don't need to spell it. Okay, great. And thank you very much.
No, thanks, Jill.
Really appreciate it. Thanks for having me at the podcast.
Right.
Thanks a lot.
I think it was good.
Yes.
I loved it. And,
I hope it was good.
I'm definitely gonna look for the pre-order.
Yes, great.
Because I really love it. Like
I love
the subtlety.
This. Yes.
And you just look really good with it, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
I think we also talked more than 1.5 hours or something.
Really?